Chapter 1. The Golden Girl of Beverly Hills. I was born into a world of wealth and power, not just normal rich, stupid rich. My father, Richard Sinclair, was a billionaire oil tycoon, known for his ruthless business tactics and ability to turn any deal in his favor. My mother, Victoria Sinclair, was a glamorous socialite who thrived on charity galas, high society brunches, and making sure our last name stayed in the headlines. And me? I was Madison Sinclair, the only daughter of Beverly Hills' wealthiest family, a girl who had it all, a mansion with 15 bedrooms, an infinity pool, a personal chef, and a closet filled with designer labels, vacations in the French Riviera, private jets to Paris for shopping weekends, a credit card with no limit. I had never heard the word no, because in my world, money could fix anything, the reigning queen of Westwood Academy. At Westwood Academy, the most exclusive private school in Los Angeles, I was untouchable, the queen bee. Every girl wanted to be me, every guy wanted to date me. People stared as I walked down the halls, whispering my name like I was some kind of celebrity. Maddie's outfit today. Absolute perfection. Her dad practically owns half the city. Imagine being that rich. I heard her mom's throwing a party next weekend. Only the elite are invited. I thrived in the attention. It wasn't just about popularity, it was about power. And I had all of it. Until one day I didn't. Because the thing about being at the top, it only takes one moment to lose everything. The call that changed everything. It started with a phone call from my dad. "Maddie, I entered you into Little Miss California." I nearly spit out my smoothie. "You did what?" He sighed like I was being dramatic. "It's good for publicity. You'll win easily." "Dad, I don't even do pageants." "Doesn't matter. You'll look perfect on stage." I knew what he really meant. It's already decided. And that was the problem. I always won, not because I deserved it, but because I was a Sinclair. And for the first time I wondered, what would happen if someone else wanted to win too? Chapter 2. The Pageant Scandal. The moment I stepped onto the stage at Little Miss California, I could already tell how this was going to end. The other girls were practicing their routines, perfecting their walks, and rehearsing their answers. Me? I was barely paying attention. I wasn't nervous. I didn't have to be, because I already knew I was going to win. The crown was mine. When the judges finally announced the winner, I barely reacted. "And the crown goes to Madison Sinclair." The audience applauded. Some of the contestants clapped politely, but one girl did not. Emma Carter, the girl who fought back. She stood in the back, arms crossed, eyes burning with rage. I didn't know her name yet, but I knew that look. She wasn't just mad, she was furious. And then, before anyone could stop her, she stormed forward and grabbed the mic. The viral outburst, "Are you kidding me?" Emma's voice echoed through the auditorium. The room fell dead silent. I blinked. Was she seriously doing this? Emma turned to the judges, her face red with anger. "This is so unfair. We worked for weeks, and she just walks in and wins?" Gasps, murmurs, awkward glances. The judges exchanged nervous looks. But my father? He sat in the audience, completely unbothered. Emma scoffed, shaking her head. "Of course. She's a Sinclair. I bet the decision was made before the competition even started." I could feel everyone staring at me, for the first time ever. I wasn't being admired, I was being hated. The internet turns against me. The next morning, I woke up to chaos. My phone was blowing up with notifications, hundreds of comments, dozens of messages. And when I checked my Instagram feed, I saw it. A viral video. "Watch, girl exposes rigged beauty pageant in fiery rant." It had over 500,000 views in less than a day. I clicked play, and there she was, Emma Carter, standing on stage, calling me out in front of everyone. She didn't even prepare. She just walked in and won. This was rigged from the start. The comments underneath were even worse. "This is disgusting. Money ruins everything." Madison Sinclair is just another spoiled brat who buys her way to the top. Justice for Emma. Schachter rigged, there's cheater. I had been hated before, but only by jealous girls at school. This question mark. This was different. The entire internet had turned against me. The whispering halls at Westwood Academy, things were even worse. Before, when I walked through the halls, people whispered about my outfits and vacations. Now, they whispered about the scandal. I heard them as I passed. I can't believe she stole the crown. She's literally a joke now. Her dad probably just paid off the judges. For the first time in my life, I wasn't the most loved girl in the room. I was the villain, and I had no idea how to fix it. Chapter 3. Damage Control and an Unlikely Friendship. For the first time in my life, being rich wasn't enough to save me. No amount of designer clothes, lavish parties, or Instagram-perfect vacations could undo the fact that the world officially hated me. And the worst part? I couldn't even blame them. Because deep down, I knew Emma was right. I didn't deserve to win. The PR move. My father, of course, wasn't concerned. "Maddie, this will blow over." He sipped his coffee like my social reputation wasn't going up in flames. "No, Dad, it won't." He barely looked at me. "Fine. What do you want me to do?" I hesitated before saying the words I knew he wouldn't like. "Redo the pageant. Make it fair." For the first time, he actually looked surprised. "You want to give up your title?" "I never earned it in the first place." He exhaled sharply, setting his cup down. "You know, this could actually work." I frowned. "What?" "If we sponsor a new pageant, fund scholarships for the winners, and make this about giving back, you'll come out looking like a hero." I clenched my jaw. Of course. For my father, this wasn't about fixing things, it was about controlling the story. But if it was the only way to make things right, I'd take it. The announcement. The next morning, my father made a public statement. Due to concerns over fairness, the Sinclair family will sponsor a new pageant, ensuring an equal chance for all contestants. Additionally, we will fund full scholarships for the top 3 winners. Within minutes, the internet shifted. Okay, this is actually cool of her. At least she's trying to fix things. This is what rich people should be doing, giving back. For the first time in weeks, people weren't hating me, but there was still one person who wasn't impressed. Emma Carter, the skeptic. I spotted her the day before the competition. She was in line at a coffee shop, scrolling through her phone, looking annoyed. I took a deep breath, walked up, and tapped her shoulder. She turned around, and her face immediately hardened. "Oh, it's you." I ignored the attitude. "Look, I just wanted to say, good luck." She scoffed. "Right. Because you suddenly care about fairness?" I sighed. "I know you don't believe me, but I meant what I said. I want this to be fair, and I hope you win." Emma studied me for a long moment. Then, finally, she sighed. Whatever. It wasn't forgiveness, but it wasn't pure hatred either. So, I'd take it. The rematch. For the first time in my life, I actually watched a competition from the outside. And Emma? She was incredible. Her routine, flawless. Her answers, smart, confident, effortless. Her presence, undeniable. She wasn't just competing, she was fighting for something. And when the judges announced the winner, I wasn't surprised when I heard, "Your new Little Miss California is Emma Carter." The audience erupted in cheers. Emma stood on stage, tears in her eyes, crown on her head, and for the first time in a long time, I felt genuinely happy for someone else. A thank you I didn't expect. Later that evening, I was back home when my phone buzzed. A message. "Emma. Hey, can I come over?" I stared at the screen for a second, then typed back, "Sure." 15 minutes later, Emma showed up at my door. With a bouquet of flowers. I raised an eyebrow. "What's this?" She handed them to me. "A thank you gift for what you did." I blinked. "I thought you hated me." Emma smirked. "I did, a little." Then she sighed. "But I get it now. You didn't have to fix things. But you did. So, thanks. For the first time, I felt like she actually saw me, not just as Madison Sinclair, billionaire's daughter, but as me. And from that moment on, we were inseparable. Chapter 4. The Jesse Parker Problem. For the first time in my life, I had a real best friend. Not someone who clung to me for status, not someone who pretended to like me for expensive gifts. Just Emma. And honestly, it felt nice. But like all good things in my life, drama was never too far away. And this time, it came in the form of Jesse Parker. The crush one morning, I was copying Emma's homework as usual when she suddenly froze. Her face turned bright red. "Oh my God," I blinked. "What?" She grabbed my wrist. "Don't look, he's coming this way." "Who?" She gave me a panicked look. "Jesse Parker." I smirked. "The guy you've been obsessing over for weeks?" Shut up. "Oh my God, he's right there." I followed her gaze and spotted Jesse, leaning against the lunch counter talking to his friends. And okay, I had to admit, he was cute, tall, messy dark hair, just the right amount of cocky. Total heartbreaker. I could already tell he was the kind of guy who flirted just for fun. Emma, of course, was head over heels. And judging by the way she was freaking out, I knew exactly what was about to happen. The unexpected offer, Jesse casually strolled over to our table and sat down next to Emma. Emma's face was practically on fire. "So," Jesse said, flashing a perfect smirk, "I wanted to ask you out. How's Friday?" Emma nearly fainted. "Oh, wow, Jesse. Yes, Friday is Actually," Jesse interrupted, "I was talking to Maddie." The entire table went silent. Emma's smile disappeared. I blinked. "Wait, what?" Jesse was looking right at me. I barely knew the guy. He was cute, sure, but Emma had been crushing on him for weeks, so I did what any good best friend would do. I smirked. I'll consider it if you bring me my favorite flower." Jesse grinned. "Easy, name it." I tilted my head. "Monkshood violet." Emma gasped. "Maddie, that flower only grows in the Himalayas." "I know." Jesse chuckled. "Challenge accepted." And with that, he walked off. I grinned, feeling pretty proud of myself. But when I turned back to Emma, she wasn't laughing. The fallout. "What the hell was that?" Emma hissed. I blinked. "What?" She crossed her arms. "You knew I liked him. Why did you do that?" I shrugged. "Emma, he literally called you Holly. He didn't even know your name." She clenched her jaw. "That's not the point." I rolled my eyes. "Come on, I was just messing with him." Emma grabbed her books and stood up. "I don't need you to fight my battles. And you definitely don't deserve to copy my homework after that stunt." She stormed off. And for the first time since we became friends, I realized I might have screwed up. The unexpected consequence. I thought Jesse would forget about the challenge and move on. But then, he disappeared. Completely. A few days later, I overheard a group of guys talking in the hallway. "Dude, Jesse actually left school." "No way. Where'd he go?" "Apparently, he's trying to find some rare flower. Said it's for a girl." My stomach dropped. I turned to Emma, who had clearly heard the same thing. She looked furious. And for once, I didn't have anything to say. Because for the first time ever, I felt guilty. Chapter 5. The Brother Dilemma. Emma was still furious with me, and honestly, I couldn't blame her. Jesse Parker, a guy she had crushed on for months, had left school to chase after a flower I dared him to find. It wasn't supposed to be serious. It was a joke. But now, Jesse was gone. Emma was mad, and I was starting to regret everything. So I did what any best friend would do. I invited myself over for a sleepover, because if there was one thing I knew how to do, it was fixing things my way. The invitation she couldn't refuse. I showed up at Emma's locker the next day. She barely looked at me. "What do you want, Maddie?" I smiled sweetly. "To make it up to you." She folded her arms. "And how exactly do you plan on doing that?" I grinned. A sleepover. At your house. Emma's eyes widened. No. Yes. Maddie, you have a freaking mansion. Why would you want to stay at my place? I shrugged. Because I always have to host. It's your turn. She groaned. Maddie. I grabbed her hands. Come on. Pretty please? Emma sighed dramatically and threw her hands in the air. Fine. Victory. The Carter household, Emma's house, was different. It was small, cozy, warm. It actually felt like a home, not just a mansion filled with expensive things. The second I stepped inside, I was ambushed by her mom, Aunt G. She pulled me into a huge bear hug. Coco, you're all skin and bones. Let me make you something delicious. I laughed. Bring it on, Aunt G. I'm starving. We sat at the dinner table, eating the best homemade pasta I'd ever had. And then Emma's older brother walked in, and my life got a lot more complicated. Lucas Carter, the unexpected distraction. I had met Lucas Carter before, briefly, but I had never really noticed him. Until now. Tall, messy brown hair, a sharp jawline, ridiculously attractive. I nearly choked on my pasta. Emma groaned. Oh God, Maddie, don't. Lucas smirked. What? I didn't even say anything. I recovered quickly, flashing him a smug grin. Yet, he raised an eyebrow. You always this bold? I leaned back. You always this cocky? Emma rolled her eyes. Please stop flirting. I literally just ate. Lucas chuckled but didn't take his eyes off me. And suddenly, Jesse Parker was the last thing on my mind. A late-night encounter. That night, Emma and I stayed up late, playing games and taking ridiculous online quizzes. She eventually passed out in a pile of marshmallows. I, however, was still hungry. So I snuck downstairs to see if Aunt G had any leftovers. As I stuffed my face with pasta, I heard a voice behind me. Hungry, are we? I nearly jumped out of my skin. Turning around, I saw Lucas leaning against the counter, smirking. Danger. I tried to act casual. You caught me, he chuckled. Didn't mean to scare you, but I was kinda hoping I'd run into you again. Oh, big danger. I tilted my head. Oh yeah? And why's that? Lucas stepped closer. Because you're not what I expected. I frowned. What does that mean? I thought you were just some spoiled rich girl. But now, he studied me. I'm starting to think there's more to you. My stomach did a weird flip. Was he flirting with me? No. I could not be into my best friend's brother. That would be a disaster. And yet, when he reached out and tucked a loose strand of hair behind my ear, I froze. He leaned in slightly, and for a split second I thought, what the hell is going on here? I whirled around to see Emma standing in the doorway, arms crossed, her eyes burning with anger. Oh, crap. Chapter 6. A promise meant to be broken. Emma's eyes were practically on fire. What the hell is going on here? She repeated, stepping into the kitchen. Lucas, ever the smooth talker, casually leaned against the counter like nothing happened. Relax, Em. I was just helping Maddie clean up her mess. Emma's glare sharpened. Get lost, Lucas. Lucas smirked. Yikes, harsh. Lucas. Her tone left no room for argument. With a lazy shrug, he shot me one last knowing look before leaving the kitchen. The second he was gone, Emma turned on me. Are you serious, Maddie? I blinked. What? She threw her hands in the air. You can have any guy you want, but not my brother. I frowned. Emma, come on, nothing happened. I saw the way he was looking at you, and don't act like you weren't into it. Okay, fair point, but it wasn't like I did it on purpose. I sighed. Emma, relax. It's not a big deal. It is to me. Her voice was tight, her hands clenched into fists. Lucas is a good guy with a real future. I won't let you treat him like all the other guys you mess with. Ouch. That actually stung. I scoffed. Wow. So now I'm just some heartless player? You tell me. For the first time since we became friends, I saw real anger in her eyes. And honestly, it hurt more than I expected. The promise I knew I had to fix things. So, the next morning, I cornered Emma at school. "Look, let's just forget about Lucas. I'll take you anywhere you want, your favorite place, anywhere in the world. Let's just fix this." For a second, she actually considered it. Then she sighed. "Fine, but only if you promise me one thing." I nodded quickly. "Anything." She stared straight at me. "Stay away from Lucas." I froze. I wanted to promise, I really did. But for some reason I couldn't. Something about Lucas just wouldn't leave my mind. Emma's voice snapped me back to reality. "Earth to Maddie? Promise me. Swear on our friendship." I forced a smile. Okay. I promise. A broken promise. For a few days I stuck to my word. I ignored Lucas. I avoided looking at him. I pretended he didn't exist. But then, late one night, my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Want to go for a walk? Meet me at the gate." I stared at the screen. My heart raced. I knew who it was. Lucas. And against my better judgment, I went. Chapter 7. The kiss that changed everything. I knew I was making a mistake. I knew I was breaking my promise to Emma. And yet, I still went to meet him. A midnight walk. When I reached the gate, Lucas was already there, waiting. The moonlight hit his face just right, making his features even more unfairly attractive. He smiled. "You came." I folded my arms. "I shouldn't have." He chuckled. "Yet, here you are." I sighed. "What do you want, Lucas?" He stepped closer. "To see you." My heart did a stupid little flip. I tried to play it cool. "Why?" He tilted his head, watching me carefully. "Because you're not who I thought you were." I frowned. "And who did you think I was?" "Some spoiled, shallow girl who only cared about herself." I raised an eyebrow. "Gee, thanks." He smirked. I said, "Thought. But now I know better." I rolled my eyes. "Oh yeah? And what do you think now?" Lucas didn't answer. Instead, he reached out, took my hand, and pulled me closer. The moment, everything changed. I knew this was wrong. I knew Emma would never forgive me. But the way Lucas looked at me, like I was the only girl in the world, for the first time in a long time, I forgot about everything else. And when he leaned in and kissed me, I kissed him back. For a second, it felt perfect. But then, reality came crashing down. Emma. Her face flashed in my mind, and suddenly, the guilt was too much. I pulled away. "Wait. This isn't right." Lucas looked at me, confused. "Maddie?" I shook my head. "I can't do this. Emma's my best friend." I turned and ran back to the house, away from Lucas, away from temptation. But I knew it was too late, because no matter how much I tried to ignore it, I had fallen for him. Chapter 8. The betrayal exposed. For the next few days, I did everything in my power to avoid Lucas. No texts, no late-night walks, no stolen glances across the hallway. I convinced myself that if I just ignored what happened, it would go away. But Lucas? He wasn't letting me go that easily. A ticking time bomb. At school, every time I turned a corner, Lucas was there, leaning against my locker, smirking across the cafeteria, looking at me like he knew my secret. And worst of all, Emma started noticing. "Why is my brother looking at you like that?" she asked one day. I froze. "Like what?" She narrowed her eyes. "Like he knows something I don't." I forced a laugh. "You're imagining things." She didn't look convinced, and deep down, I knew. It was only a matter of time before she found out the truth. The unexpected return, and then just when things couldn't get any worse, Jesse Parker came back. I heard the whispers before I saw him. "No way. He actually did it? Dude went all the way to Asia for a freaking flower. This is insane." And then, there he was, Jesse Parker, standing in the middle of the school hallway, holding a bouquet of violet monkshood flowers. The impossible flower. He looked directly at me and grinned. "Maddie, you owe me a date." My stomach dropped. This was not how I wanted things to go. The ultimate trap. I didn't get a chance to react, because before I knew it, Emma grabbed my wrist. "Come with me." She pulled me through the crowd, past Jesse, and out of the hallway. She didn't stop until we reached the back of the school. Then, she turned to face me. "Tell me the truth." I swallowed. "About what?" "About you and Lucas." My heart stopped. She knew. I opened my mouth to deny it, but I didn't get the chance, because out of nowhere, Jesse appeared, and before I could push him away, he kissed me. The moment, everything fell apart. I shoved him off immediately. "Jesse, what the hell?" But it was too late, because standing behind us, watching everything, was Lucas, his jaw clenched, his eyes dark. And next to him, Emma, who looked completely, utterly betrayed. The silence was deafening. Lucas's expression turned cold. "Guess I was wrong about you." And then he walked away. Emma stared at me, her hands trembling with anger. "I knew you'd ruin everything." And then she was gone too, leaving me standing there, alone. For the first time in my life, I had lost everything. Chapter 9. Hitting Rock Bottom. For the first time in my life, I was completely alone. No Emma, no Lucas, no admiration from the people at school, just whispers, glares, and judgment. And the worst part? I deserved it. The backlash. The next morning at Westwood Academy, the halls felt different. Before, people would whisper about my outfits, my vacations, my perfect life. Now, they whispered about the scandal. "Did you hear? Maddie kissed Jesse while secretly dating Lucas. And she was best friends with Emma. She's such a snake." Wow, even money can't fix this one. I kept my head up, pretending not to care. But inside, I was falling apart. Even my father didn't care. At home, my father barely looked up from his emails when I walked into his office. "You're early, don't you have school?" I sighed. "You really haven't been on the internet, have you?" He raised an eyebrow. "What happened now?" I hesitated before muttering, "I lost everything." My father leaned back in his chair, unimpressed. "Madison, we don't lose. We fix things." I scoffed. "Oh, really? And how exactly do I fix this?" He shrugged. "That's your problem, not mine." I felt my chest tighten. "You don't care, do you?" He sighed. "Madison, people hate you today. They'll love you again tomorrow. That's how it works." I clenched my fists. "What if they don't?" He finally looked me in the eye. "Then maybe it's time you disappear for a while." The breaking point. That night, I stared at my phone, debating whether to text Emma, whether to apologize. But what could I even say? I betrayed her. I lied to her. And when she needed me the most, I threw it all away for her brother. So instead, I deleted the message. And for the first time in a long time, I cried myself to sleep. The escape plan. The next morning, I made a decision. I couldn't fix things here. But maybe I could start over. So I walked into my father's office, chin lifted. "I want to go to Paris." He blinked. "Excuse me?" "For the fashion program you mentioned. I want to go." His lips curved into a smirk. "Running away, huh?" I shook my head. "Number, I'm leaving before anyone else can throw me away first." For the first time in my life, my father actually looked proud. Smart move. One last goodbye. Before I left, there was one last thing I had to do. I called Lucas's college and anonymously paid for his scholarship. He had lost it because of me. The least I could do was make things right, even if he never knew it was me. Chapter 10. A New Beginning. The airport was packed, but I barely noticed the people rushing past me. This was it, my fresh start. No more gossip, no more betrayal, no more being the girl who ruined everything. Paris was my chance to disappear and rebuild myself, but just as I reached the boarding gate, I heard someone shouting my name. I turned around and froze. It was Lucas, running toward me. The final confrontation. He stopped a few feet away, catching his breath. His eyes locked onto mine. "You weren't even going to say goodbye?" I swallowed hard. "I didn't think you'd care." His jaw tightened. "Are you kidding me? Of course I care." I laughed bitterly. "Funny way of showing it." Lucas shook his head. "You don't get it, do you? I never cared about Jesse. I never cared about the rumors. I cared about you." My heart clenched. "Then why did you walk away?" He sighed. "Because I didn't know if you cared about me." I looked away. "You should hate me." Lucas stepped closer. "I tried, but I don't." His voice softened. "And no amount of time or distance is going to change that." The hardest choice. I wanted to stay. For the first time, I wanted something more than just running away. But I couldn't. Not yet. I had to fix myself first. So I took a deep breath and whispered, "Lucas, I have to go." His expression fell. "Maddie?" I grabbed his hand, squeezing it. "Promise me one thing?" He swallowed. "Anything. Don't wait for me. Chase your dreams. Be everything you're meant to be." Lucas's eyes searched mine, and for a moment I thought he might argue, but instead he nodded. "Only if you do the same." I smiled, even though my heart was breaking, and as I turned and walked toward my flight, I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time. Hope. A new beginning. A chance to become someone better. And for the first time ever, I was ready. The end. Shocking Family Story Channel. Thanks you for watching. Support me, like, share, and subscribe to watch more stories. See you in the next video.